What if I told you the first battery wasn't invented in the 1800s, but nearly 2,000 years earlier? It sounds like science fiction, but one mysterious artifact discovered in Iraq has sparked a debate that refuses to die. It's known as the Baghdad Battery, and if the theory is true, it could rewrite the history of technology. The story begins in the 1930s, when archaeologists excavating near Baghdad uncovered a small clay jar dating to the Parthian period. Dating somewhere between 250 BC and AD 250, the jar stood only 5 inches tall, but its contents were extraordinary. It contained a rolled copper cylinder with an iron rod suspended in the center, separated by a layer of asphalt. To modern eyes, the design looks surprisingly similar to a simple electrochemical cell. In 1938, Wilhelm Koenig proposed that if this jar were filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar, it could generate electricity. The chemical reaction between the iron and copper could have generated a small electric current. Years later, scientists built replicas of the artifact and tested the theory. To everyone's surprise, the replicas produced between half a volt and 1 volt of electricity. That's not enough to power a light bulb, but it proved the design could function as a primitive battery. So, did ancient engineers really discover electricity? Not so fast. Archaeologists have never found wires, electrical devices, or written records from the Parthian civilization. If these jars were batteries, where are the tools they powered? One possibility is that they were used for electroplating, coating objects with a thin layer of gold or silver. The tiny electrical current would have been enough for simple metal plating, making ordinary jewelry look like precious metals. But many experts remain unconvinced. They argue there's no direct evidence ancient people practiced electroplating with these jars. Others suggest the artifacts were used to store scrolls, preserve valuable documents, or even hold sacred oils. In other words, they may not have been batteries at all. Today, the Baghdad Battery remains one of archaeology's greatest unsolved technological mysteries. It sits at the fascinating intersection of science, engineering, and history. A reminder that a single artifact can challenge everything we think we know about the past. Whether it was the world's first battery or simply an ingenious container, the debate continues 2,000 years later. And maybe that's the most electrifying part of the story. If you love surprising stories where history and technology collide, don't forget to subscribe for Talking Tech. Because sometimes the biggest innovations aren't in the future. They're buried in the past.